Hello and welcome to my new video. This is Victory Run on the Grafx 16/PC engine. This is quite an interesting little game. It appears to be a road rally game whereby you are racing against the clock as opposed to other cars. I kind of like this bit here at the beginning where you can adjust the car to how you want it to be by adjusting the settings. You have a limited number that you can adjust. I sort of try to go for a reasonably balanced car. But the objective is to race against the clock, as you can see in the sort of towards the top right corner. You can see that there's a clock counting down, and the objective is to complete the stage before that runs out. Now you do have like a reserve timer above that, and when that runs out then it's game over. Now the premise is quite simple, but believe me, the game isn't. It is quite a tough game. That may seem like a generous amount of time to begin with, but the stages are quite long, and it does take quite a considerable amount of practice to actually make progress in the game. You also got to... The complication is the fact that you have manual gears as well. You can see the gear shift in the middle at the top of the screen there. And so you actually have to... It's one of those games that sort of has a bit more depth than your standard hit the accelerator or brake type racing game. You know, you've got other road users, you've got the disproportionately large motorbike that you can see there, and you get trucks and other vehicles and what have you, and you've got the roadside obstacles as well. And you know, there is a lot going on. You also have to manage the components of the vehicle as well, because they do, as you can see above the timers, they do start to wear out and get damaged as the race goes on. Now you would think that when the screen changes colour like you saw there, that you're on a different stage. No, you're not. I made that mistake, and then when I looked at the clock I thought, hang on a minute, I'm still running out of time. What's going on here? No, I think it's supposed to simulate the passage of time rather than actually more the passage of distance. I could be wrong, but it certainly doesn't intimate that you've completed that stage. As you can see under the bit where there's the two S's, special stage, which is a rally turn, and I'm still on one. And as you can see, I've already gone into the reserve timer, thanks by and large to the fact that I'm crap. But as you could see there, I mean, the game transitioned then into night time, and I hadn't actually moved any distance. So that's quite a neat feature, that, you know, there is a reflection of the passage of actual time itself, you know, rather than it just be distance related. And it, you know, it's something that you kind of might take for granted in modern games, but back when this game came out, that was probably quite a unique, neat little feature that the game had. Playability wise, it is playable, but like I say, it is tough because you've got so many things going on all the time, and it does get to be quite a challenge. And as you can see now, I've actually made it to the checkpoint, which means time out. See, there you go. So it is quite challenging. It is very difficult, and you can see there, that's where I am in the rankings. That's where the other drivers are. But yeah, I mean, I do get to start again. But as you can see, that reserve time now, I've only got just over 2 seconds, whereas before I had a minute. So that doesn't replenish. So it's a good idea not to be dipping into that reserve whenever you can. But like I say, that's easier said than done. This isn't the easiest of racing games that I've played. And I think stage 2 is about as far as I've ever got. I do need more practice, certainly. Don't need to be crashing the car and taking off into the air like that. That's for certain. But like I say, it is an interesting game. I do enjoy playing it, and it is well worth checking out if you can pick up a copy of this. It's something different, I guess, than sort of your standard arcade style races that was around at that time. You know, most racing games from this era didn't really tend to have an awful lot of depth. They certainly didn't have the kind of depth you would normally associate with any kind of modern racing game at all. I mean, it was, you know, something that at the end of the day, you know, most people just wanted arcade conversions, your games like Outrun and games like that. I mean, you got more depth, I think, with Mega Drive races like your Super Monaco GP, for example. That introduced proper Grand Prix racing. You know, but certainly the arcade it was based upon, there wasn't a huge amount of depth to that at all. Certainly when compared to the game that came out on the console, and that came out, I think Super Monaco GP on the Mega Drive, I think, came out after this. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty certain this came before it. So, you know, like I say, it was quite unusual to have a game with this kind of depth in it. But anyway, that's that. Thank you for watching.